All right, this week on Camera Talk, we are looking at a classic, a Voigtlander classic. It's not really a classic, but it's got the name classic in the title. It's a Voigtlander 75mm 1.8 Heliar classic. Why is it classic? Well, because it renders a classic look. It's not quite the clinical sharpness as most lenses these days. Well, you're getting distracted. Look at the camera. And we're going to take a look at it anyway. So, grab something to eat or drink, pull up a chair, get comfortable, and we'll get right at it.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. That's right. This week we are taking a look at the 75. Oh, before we get into that, how about the name? The Voigtlander 75mm f1.8. It's a discontinued lens. Got replaced by a 1.5, which is also a very good lens. But
Like big butts and I cannot lie.
this is a pretty good lens. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. And who makes Voigtlanders these days? It's not Voigtlander, is it? No, it's Cosina in Japan. They make Voigtlanders, they make Zeisses, they make other stuff too, but those are the most sought after ones anyway. Hey, don't be playing with stuff, man. It's gonna come right out of your paycheck. So this particular lens, again, was produced by Cosina, launched in 2010. It's since has been discontinued. It's been replaced by a 75 1.5. So they just discontinued making this sucker. But you can find it out on eBay or, the used camera shop of your choice. May have a copy. And stop playing with everything. I'm gonna switch his legs. There you go. Now you can't play with it, can you, sucker? So continuing on. So the Heliar Classic, as it's called. Now, why is it classic? Obviously, it's not classic as in old, but it has an old rendering, an older...
At least we're not fucking idiots.
...feel to it, a classic look, so to speak. So it's, sharp, wide open in the center, but it's soft in the corners. It's very typical of a vintage lens. If you want sharpness corner to corner, then you're going to have to stop down to, roughly about f8, really, to get to the kind of sharpness that you may be expecting in today's lens world. Now, it's got a Leica mount, so it's rangefinder coupled, so it would go well with my my M10, to which I have used it on, and I'll show you some pictures of Spider-Man here in the use of the M10. But I also have it on my Sony A7R II, so I took shots with that as well. So I have some samples of both that we could take a look at. And what else can we say about it? The specs on it. It's 6 elements in 3 groups, so it's very similar sonar design. Close focus is 90 centimeters. So again, it's a 75, so you can't expect, the typical 70 centimeters like my 50 here. 70 centimeters, and my Summoluxes and everything are all 70 centimeters for a rangefinder. But this is 90 centimeters, and which is better than an Octolux, which is a meter. Better than something. So that works anyway. It has 10 Bocalicious blades, so it keeps the bokeh balls relatively round. We like our balls round, don't we? For now, yours are just decoration, buddy.
Funny how?
Its weight, 427 grams, so it's heavy, but not super heavy. Heavy enough. Gives it that quality feel. Speaking of quality, it's got great build quality. It's built like a tank, as we like to always compare it to. Nice smooth focusing ring. I added a tab, finger tab to the bottom of the lens, just because I'm used to that with my my Summoluxes and Summicrons and other Sumis. So I like the finger tab, and I mean it has knurled focus ring anyway, which still works, but when you're using manual focus lens and you're grabbing the lens like this.
That's what she said!
If you're using a rangefinder, your hand is going to get in the way of the rangefinder patch. Anyway, so I added a tab to the bottom. Hey, why not? They're cheap, and so it works well for me. Again, it's sharpest at f8. Now, wide open, you may notice a little purple or green fringing happening under certain conditions, which is fairly common with fast lenses anyway, so it's nothing uncommon. Has some great 10-point sun stars. They start around 5.6 to f8 in that range. Very nice. But the bokeh, you get yourself a runny nose there, mister, or what? So anyway, the bokeh is very nice. Again, the bokeh is the quality of the out of focus background. Again, it's very nice. Some people say it's a little busy depending on the stuff in the background, but it's got a classic bokeh style of all the other vintage lenses out there. It's very, very similar in that regard. So without further ado, let me get you again a shot of the end of the I always shoot my videos with not always, but most of the time, with a Canon M50, and it has a kit lens, 15 to 45 EFM lens. So what I generally do in all my videos is whatever lens I'm reviewing, I'm not really even reviewing, introducing you to, I focus in on the nameplate on the end of the lens. So I try to get it as crisp as possible. So let me do that now. All right, buddy. I'm gonna make sure I don't cover your face, right? I know you like the spotlight. You like the audience to be able to see your cute little face.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Is right. 1, 2, 3. Let's go 5.6 just for the fun of it, as they say. Okay, again. Let me bring down the shutter speed here so we can get a brighter rendition. All right. Yeah, I know, buddy. Hang on. Daddy's just doing some focusing here. Sharp as can be. 1, 2, 3. There. And that was that was at 1.8 and at 5.6, emphasized by Dylan here, because he wants you to know that I got the shot. All right, so speaking of shots, let's take a look at, of course I always do a wide open on that, so I'm going to do some shots of Dylan with the Sony I just shot with here at 1.8. So let's take a look at Dylan here. All right. Cute little guy, isn't he? Anyway, the next one, I also put it on my M10, so we'll take a look at how it renders on a 24mm versus 42. Flip the digits. Do you like to flip digits, mister? Putting you to sleep, are we? And so let's take a look at the M10 at 1.8. And I think that was pretty much all I want to talk about with these guys anyway, and with the lens in particular, since that's what we're talking about. So as you can see, it's a decent lens. You know, it's maybe 400 bucks or so. You can find it again. You can find it on eBay. You can find it on Facebook Marketplace. You can probably find it a number of different places. But anyway, that is that. Can I recommend it? Yeah, sure, if you've got the money.
9 doctors out of 10 doctors probably agree.
And you want a 75, you know, it's kind of in between that, you know, the regular 50 and the 85 portrait lens. This is a 75 portrait lens, so it works well. What are you focused on your toe for? Pay attention. I'm training you to do your own videos in the future. So yeah, I mean, if you've got the money, a little extra money here and there, and you're using it on a Leica, you know, you might want to also check out the 90s. You know, there's some 90 Elmerit, 90 Sumerit, which are fairly economical, as they say, especially if you get the you know, as far as Elmer's or Elmerits, sure, not Elmerits, and even the Summicrons, you know, pre-aspheric versions can be budget friendly as far as Leica is concerned. Anyway, I also have I have a 75 Summerit 2.4, which we'll do in another video, but it's much sharper than this. But it's also 2.5 versus 2.4 versus 1.8. So you give up something to get something else, right? So anyway, how about our little plug for my photo editing software that I use, which is Luminar Neo, and Luminar AI. Luminar Neo is their latest rendition. It's you know, it includes things like power line removal. So you don't have to, you know, before you would have to brush over all the power lines and then hit the erase button or clone button or whatever you use. But this is now you just hit the button, boot, boot, gone. Spots and dust on your sensor. You have a dusty sensor, mister? Well, gone, same thing. One click, you don't have to highlight anything, gone. And another new feature is relighting. You can relight the scene, so if the light's like this way here, and you don't like it that way, you can make it come from over there, or above, or below, or wherever. So that's kind of cool. You probably won't use that a whole heck of a lot, but you never know, right? So anyway, I mean, the AI is what I've used for these guys. Because Neo isn't released yet, even though I have an early bird copy, so you know, it's kind of the half of the version, and it is very different from the Luminar 4 that I've been using previously. So, but Luminar AI is the one I use the most because I don't like to spend tons of time editing my photos, so I like to click on a template, go into edit, mess with the exposure, mess with the colors, mess with the sharpness, brighten some teeth, who knows, stuff like that. Makes it easy for me. So if you'd like your own copy, click below, because I can get you a $10 discount I mean, it's already economical. It's, you know, 50, 60, 70 bucks, 80 bucks maybe. Who knows? They haven't determined what their final price is going to be. But hey, why not get 10 bucks off of that, right? And get $10 off of that. It can make us $10. I say us because of him.
$1 million.
He wants cookies. So if anybody feels sorry for him and you want to send cookies, send it to Vietnam. Look for Dr. Scott at RMIT. And, well, there's Grandma bashing on the who knows what over there. Told her we're making a video, but does she care? No. That's typical Grandma for you, right?
Who cares?
So how about you also help us out by exposing our channel? You know what that means, right? Are you ready to subscribe? He's going to tell you to subscribe. So give us a subscribe. That's right. And how about Dylan? Subscribe. And how about 2 arms? And subscribe. Yeah. And while you're subscribing, the algorithm also loves thumbs up, right? So how about a thumbs up for the thumbs up girls? And last but not least, I think that was all we wanted to say, right? This is brought to you by Modesty Photography, where we're here to save you money, introduce you to different tips and tricks and vintage lenses and modern lenses and whatever else we could think about with photography. So make sure you come on back next week, right? Because this was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. That's right. So he wants you to come back next week. So stay safe out there, right? Stay away from that COVID. It's not something to play with.
Stop playing with yourself.
Stay away from that, right? And thanks for dropping by. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for giving Dylan something to do. And we'll see you in the next episode. All right? Bye-bye.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always